It's a privilege to speak to you guys. I want you to know that I don't take this opportunity lightly, and my goal tonight is just to bring you above and beyond value to master this, to master your mindset and help you overcome any negative self-talk that's getting in the way of you becoming the leader that you need to be this year. And a little background, I was actually a Beachbody coach for 5 years. I built a 5-star diamond team. I absolutely loved everything about the company, and it led me to my passion, which is helping people with their personal growth. It led me to becoming a personal growth expert, helping teams break through those roadblocks. And so if it was ethical to do both, I still would be coaching, but I can't, and I miss it so much. But I had to follow my heart on this, and it's been amazing being able to give back to the network in every way that I can. So before we start, silence the phones. I know you guys love your Instagram stories. Turn the Instagram stories off. Put the kids in the closet. Whatever you have to do, just be fully present, because I promise you, if you're present for this next hour, I'm going to give you some amazing tips that will transform your life if you use them. So let's start with some participation. In the chat box, type in a really, really big goal that you have for 2019 with your Beachbody business. Something that's a big goal. Maybe it's something where it's a scary goal, something that you don't think you can achieve, but you really want to achieve it. Something that you just would be really incredible for you. Million Club, I love that. What else we got, guys? Keep them coming, keep them coming, keep them coming. What else we got in here? More goals. Type them in. As you're typing those goals in, think about this for a second. There is a recipe. Laura, I love it. 5-star. Diamond, SC10. Diamond, keep these coming. There's a recipe to making it happen. There's a recipe, right? You have one of the best leaders in the entire company teaching you how to do this, right? And if you don't know how to invite, Google it. If you don't know how to build a social media following, Google it. You know the recipe, and the recipe is very easy to find how to do this. You know that. But something you might miss along the way is how you go about using your ingredients in that recipe matters. What does that mean? That means that you could invite 1 billion people to your challenge groups, but if your mindset is off, you're going to repel them. In fact, if your mindset's off, you're probably not going to invite anyone because you don't think that people want to work with you. Or you could have the best training for your team in the entire world, but if your mindset is off, your team is going to feel like, okay, I don't want to be here. They're not going to do anything. In fact, how many of you have ever said, why isn't my team doing anything? You're going to learn why on this call. You can put hours and hours and hours into a support group for your clients, but if your mindset's off, they're not going to feel like you're actually trying to help them. They're going to feel like a pawn that you're using if your mindset's off. So what goes on in your mind, your self-talk, your mindset is by far and above the most important piece of all of this. And you've heard that before. You've heard cliche quotes like change your thinking, change your life. You've heard that 1,000,000 times. But today you're going to learn how to apply that when things aren't going well in your business, when maybe you drop in rank or maybe things aren't going in the way that you want them to. And that way you can turn it around and make the goals happen so much faster. And instead of it just being a cliche, like you got to think differently, I'm actually going to show you how to think differently, how to condition it into who you are. So type yes in the chat box if you experience negative self-talk on a regular basis in some way, shape, or form. In any way, okay? So everyone better be saying yes to this, because everyone does, right? If you lie about that, you lie about other shit too. We're just being totally honest here, right? So everyone experiences negative self-talk, but where does it come from? Where do these limiting beliefs, these disempowering questions come from? I'm gonna share with you where mine came from, and the reason I share these stories with you is not to say like, hey, look at my life and how it used to be. It's so you can kind of see that your limiting beliefs and your disempowering questions can be formed by your past and experiences that you've had in the past. So as I go through it, think about what your limiting beliefs are, what your disempowering stories are. And then afterwards, I'm going to show you how I use those stories to create positive change in my life. Okay, so growing up, I had an emotional roller coaster of a childhood. And it gave me some really screwed up beliefs about how life is. And it messed with my success, my belief in my own abilities. And I'm curious, type yes if you can relate to the topic of money stress at any point in your life, whether past or present. Okay, cool. So same page here. So I remember growing up, my parents would fight about money almost every single day. There was always a screaming match, some form of, we can't afford that, some form of, you spent how much on what? Like, why the hell would you do that? And like, there were screaming matches going back and forth all the time, and I never understood why. And one time I was probably like 10 years old or something, I don't exactly remember, but my parents were having another fight. And I go up to my mom and I'm like, Mommy, why do you guys always have to fight about stupid money? And in that moment, she tells me, shut the F up, go to your room, I don't want to talk to you, I don't need your opinion right now. And my dad comes over with a soap dispenser and starts pouring soap on my mom's head, down her neck, down her back. And it was the closest thing I ever saw to a physical altercation between my parents. Luckily, nothing like that ever happened, but that I saw. But all I knew is that the topic of money led to pain. I just hated money because they always fought. And then that memory was just ingrained into my head. So whenever money came up in my life, it seemed like someone was about to get punched in the face. I just hated it. And that never happened. But all the stress around money made me fear having it. So when you think about trying to build a business that creates a life of freedom and a limiting belief that money is bad, you can see the opposing forces, right? And you pair that with, never having a peaceful Christmas or birthday, always saying no to vacations because of money, them eventually getting divorced. Like, I believed money was bad. I believed it made you a bad person. I believed it tore relationships apart. And it's the reason why it took me 6 years to propose to her. I was afraid that if we got married and had money, it would rip us apart. So that was my first biggest limiting belief. Money equals pain. My second one, on top of the money, I had an incredibly turbulent relationship with my mom. And type yes if you can relate to a turbulent relationship with a family member in some way. Okay, cool. So me too. So I love my mom. I love her, and I've forgiven her for all the pain of my past. I still have to consistently forgive her because she keeps doing things that kind of break my heart a little bit. And I've forgiven her for when I was growing up, but getting to that point took some time because I was really angry and I was really sad. And I didn't realize that she was loving me in the only way she knew how, which is a whole other topic. But I had this one memory drilled into my head like yesterday. It was like a recurring memory. And it happened over and over again. And you know how if you have good memories as a kid, but you also have a lot of bad ones, the bad ones kind of overshadow the good ones, you know what I mean? And you just kind of, that's what you remember. So I'd be on the school bus on the way home, and my heart would start beating 1,000,000 miles an hour when I saw my house coming. I didn't know why. And I'd get to my house, I'd grab my backpack, walk across the lawn to the garage door, type in the PIN code, and walk in the door. There's mom puffing on a cigarette and playing a game on her computer and just basically ignoring me. Very rarely it was, hey, sweetie, how was your day? But a lot of the times it was, shut up and go away. A lot of times it was, why are you talking to me right now? A lot of the times it was, I don't need your opinion. I don't need you around me. And it's nothing traumatic. But as a kid, you don't know what to think. You're confused, right? I remember thinking like, why doesn't my mom love me? And obviously she did, but there was just no consistency because I was always rejected by her. And that's just one example. But my reason for bringing that up is I grew up craving love, never feeling like I was enough. I never felt worthy. Type yes if you can relate to not feeling worthy of a big goal that you have or worthy of love in some way in any shape or form. Okay, so we're on the same page here. That screwed with how I lived my life. And I'd be like a chameleon. I would change who I was depending on the group that I was in, just so I would be accepted, even if it went against my values. And I just never felt like I was enough. And you might have a totally different story. You might have had an amazing childhood. That's great. But where can you relate to something, maybe a past failure in business, maybe something that happened as a kid, whatever it is, what limiting belief or beliefs or disempowering questions do you have now because of something that happened years ago that you haven't forgiven or changed the meaning of yet? Because when you're really little, you're really impressionable. And it's in those times that your belief about your abilities and yourself starts to take shape. So the reason I tell you that is because when I started my Beachbody business 6 years ago, it did not matter how many people I invited. I was always stuck. It didn't matter how many social media posts I put up. I felt stuck. It didn't matter how many team calls or trainings I created for my downline. I just felt stuck. It was always the same. I felt like, why aren't you doing this? You have all the tools you need. And on top of that, I was starting to become a spitting image of my parents. I was trying to prove my business had value. I was trying to show the world that I was living a life of freedom. When in reality, it was BS, right? I was trying to prove my business instead of sharing authentically. And if I could sum up what my business felt like at that stage, the word is stuck, right? That's all I felt. I just felt stuck. So I had to figure out how to fix that. And I went on a journey of changing my entire life. I went on a journey of getting over that negative self-talk that was getting in the way of my abilities. And it led me to what I do now, what I was meant to do with my life. It led me to the creation of my online course Appreciation Academy that I'll talk about at the end. That program is how I changed my life. So the reason I tell you all that is because when I tried to build a business, the overwhelming amount of negative self-talk, the lack of belief, and the secret obstacles that were going on up here, that I didn't even realize. They stop me in my tracks. And so I can't cover all of how to break through that in 1 hour. That's what the program's for. But if you take this seriously, you're going to learn 3 major steps that I took to just exploding my life. So number 1, write this down. Your thoughts are always the reason. Your thoughts are always the reason. The first thing you can do is change the way you think. And you've heard that, right? You've heard the cliches, change your thinking, change your life. But has anyone ever taught you how? Especially when you don't want to. So I'm going to teach you how right now. So you start to tell yourself like these disempowering stories, right? Money is bad. Building a team is hard. My teammates won't do anything. It's so much easier for Melissa. I'm not enough. My upline has it easier. I'm not pretty enough. I'm not blonde enough. Whatever you say, like you say it enough times and you start to believe that shit, right? Okay, so for example, have you ever been at a party over the years and to sound cooler than you actually are, you exaggerate a story just so you get more laughs or more attention? You know exactly what I'm talking about. And you get more laughs, more attention by exaggerating the story. And so it reinforces it. So the next time you go back to the party, you exaggerate the details a little bit more with more conviction. Then the next time you go back to a party, you exaggerate it more with more conviction. Now it's 5 years in the future. You don't even know what part of that story is real anymore or not, right? Have you ever told a story and you're like, I actually don't know if that's true anymore? The same thing happens with negative self-talk. Only instead of it being a really fun party topic, it sabotages your whole life. So you go through life believing these BS stories, and it creates inner conflict. It changes the way you lead your life and your business. For example, the limiting belief of I'm not enough and money is bad. Can you imagine how much of an impact that played into my inviting, my social media posting, my leadership of my team? It played a role in everything. So how many of you sometimes feel like you're forcing people to do things in your business? Like you're trying to force them to act, force them to hit Success Club, or like really pushing them, and it feels like it's this push motivation instead of feeling pulled towards something. It comes from your beliefs, not them. It comes from you. So if you just have this advice of, just keep hitting Success Club, just keep working hard, but you find yourself later in the year at the same spot, or maybe you drop in rank over the year and you're working really hard, you keep hitting Success Club, but your business still isn't growing to the level you want it, there is a reason for that. And so to change this, you have to believe that you're enough before the evidence of your business says that you're enough. You need to believe that you're enough before the evidence of your business says that you're enough. And you can start to do this by changing your questions. Write this down. Better questions will change your entire life. Better questions change your entire life. Better questions eliminate negative self-talk. Better questions will explode your business. If you've ever faced a point in your life where you're trying to convince yourself that you're good enough or that you deserve something great, but you don't actually like you want to believe it, but you don't actually believe it. Like, for example, if you do a goal setting workshop and you write out, earn 6 figures by this date and pay off debt by this date and be 15-star diamond by this date. And you're going, oh my gosh, that would change everything for me. Those goals would just change my entire life. It would be incredible. And I can't even imagine how incredible that would be. And there's this little voice back here just going, nah, dude, you're never going to get there. You know exactly what I'm talking about. That little voice is kind of chilling back here, barely whispering doubt. Like whenever you write that goal, just automatically kind of says, nope, not going to happen. Or if you do a vision board and you have your mansion and your debt-free sign and all that, and you have it up there, and you're looking at it, it'd be incredible, but there's that little voice just whispering doubt and insignificance into your subconscious mind. So you have to change that thinking if you ever want your goals to come true. And we can't do it in an hour, but here's a great way to start it. So what is thinking? Thinking is nothing more than the process of asking yourself a question. That's all thinking is. It's just you asking yourself questions. So if you focus on asking yourself really bad questions, you're going to get really bad answers. If you focus on asking great questions, you're going to get really great answers. The mistake I made is I just thought I had to keep hitting Success Club. And yes, you do absolutely need to keep hitting Success Club, but there's a point where you keep hitting it and your team still isn't growing and you wonder why. So it has to do with the type of questions you ask yourself about your beliefs, your leadership, everything. So let me do an example to show you what I mean. Look around the room and count the number of things that you can find right now that are red. Ready, go. Count the number of things that are red. Look for red, look for red, look for red, look for red, look for red. Look for red, 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 look for red. Cool. Found some things that were red, right? How many things did you find that were blue? No idea, 0. Why? Because you weren't looking for it. So this is going to apply to business in just a second, but check this out. Look around the room now for everything you can find that's blue. Ready, go. Count the things that are blue. Look for blue, look for blue, look for blue. Look for blue, 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 look for blue. How many more things did you find that were blue? A lot more. Unless you genuinely don't have anything blue in your room, you found a lot more. How many of you saw green, pretended it was blue just so you would feel successful, right? A lot of you guys did, didn't you? So how does that apply to business? Whatever you focus on, you find. You just proved that a second ago. So when you focus on what you don't want, meaning red, those are the seeds of doubt and skepticism and pain. That is, why am I not enough to do this? Or why is it so hard? Or I'm not enough, or money is bad, or it's easier for other people, or I don't have a big enough following, or I don't know how to lead, or I don't know how to use social media. Red is what you don't want, right? That's basically all the disempowering things you say to yourself. And chances are that's what occupies your mind the most. And whatever you focus on, you find. You won't even notice blue, which is the empowering stuff, the I can totally do this, the why am I successful, why am I grateful? So red is doubt, skepticism, pain, scarcity, all those disempowering things. And those thoughts will grow in your mind like weeds, meaning unless you program your mind to look for blue, it is automatically going to find red. Why? Remember Jim Rohn's quote, stand guard at the gates of your mind or weeds will grow automatically. Right? That's a famous Jim Rohn quote. Stand guard at the gates of your mind or weeds will grow automatically. What does that mean? Basically, your brain has zero interest in making you happy. Zero. Like your brain's primary job is to make you survive. That's it. Its primary job is to make you survive. So at any moment in time, it's trying to protect you from pain. Well, when you go after a big goal, you could fail. You could get rejected. There's pain potentially associated. Fear is nothing more than the anticipation of pain. That's all fear is. So your brain's going, whoa, 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 don't go after that. And why does your brain do that? It's a 2 million year old brain, right? Think about it. 2 million years ago, you weren't worried about sending an invite on social media. You were worried about the saber-toothed tiger hiding in the bushes that was going to eat your kid. That's what you were worried about 2 million years ago, right? It was primal. It was how do I survive? And we haven't evolved much since then. So we still have that same survival-based brain. So that's why it's natural to focus on what we don't want. Does that make sense? You're trying to look for what's wrong to protect you and keep you alive. It's just your brain doing its job. So how can we change this? We can start looking for blue. So let me do an example with you to show you what I mean. Ask yourself right now, why am I not enough to build this business? Why am I not enough to build this business? What happens when you ask yourself that? It doesn't feel very good, right? How motivated do you feel when you do that? Not very motivated. And even when you read personal growth books, you still have that voice that says, I'm not enough, right? So I shared a couple stories a minute ago about where a couple of my limiting beliefs and disempowering questions came from, right? Money is bad and I'm not enough. What are yours? What are those red things you say to yourself on a regular basis? Maybe this can trigger some. Why isn't my team doing anything? Why can't I get it right? Why don't people want to join me? Why do I always mess it up? Why is it so hard to lose weight? Why am I so fat? Why am I so broke? Why do I never catch a break? Why does it seem so much easier for other people? Why is it easier for my upline? Why can't I do anything right? Will I always be this stuck? Those are disempowering questions. Those are red questions. And it doesn't feel very good to ask those things, right? It leads to a lot of pain, a lot of frustration, a lot of procrastination. And there you are looking at your life frustrated with the results you're getting. And no matter how much someone tells you they believe in you and that you can have success, it doesn't change the fact that you have that little voice back here that says you're not enough. So how do we change this? When you set a goal, your dominant beliefs will determine if that goal will come true. And setting goals, guys, is nothing more than the process of trying to create a new reality as opposed to your current reality. That's all goal setting is. The gap in the middle between where you are and where you want to be is what you're looking for, whether it's red or blue. Does that make sense? The gap in the middle is how you talk to yourself. And until that language is blue, meaning focusing on what you want, you're going to find yourself stuck trying to get to your goals. And it's going to be like you're spinning your wheels. And I know this because I lived it. So let's use the example of why isn't my team growing? If you ask yourself that, did you notice your brain actually looks for an answer? You say, why isn't my team growing? Your brain looks for an answer. Even if you're successful, unless you've programmed blue into your mind, you'll start to question yourself. That's how insidious negative self-talk is. So your entire life can be changed by asking yourself more empowering questions. Your brain is a Google search engine. If it's undirected, it's going to find red. But if you type in something different, blue, you're going to find it. So what if you intentionally reverse what you type into your mental Google? If your brain is a Google search engine and it's going to spit out an answer, you might as well ask it an intelligent question that leads to a better life. If you say, why is it so hard to build my team? Your brain finds all the reasons why it's so hard to build your business. So that's what you focus on. So you never find the answer to your biggest challenges, right? When you sit down to work, you're literally looking for why you are not capable. So you don't send invites, you scroll Facebook. You don't support your clients, you wonder why more aren't coming to you. You're not a servant leader to your team. You check in with them like your mom would the first week of college, right? You force them to act. And here's what's crazy. There are amazing people and opportunities and blue situations that stumble across your life every freaking day. But because your mind is focusing on the red question of why is it so hard, self-sabotage steps in. You won't even notice the blue opportunity sitting right in front of you. You won't even notice it. You won't notice that dude that's sitting on the park bench that has high blood pressure that you could invite to try Shakeology and save his life. You won't even notice the mom that lives next door that has no idea how she's going to pay for her kid's college education. You won't even notice it because you're too focused on why it's so hard. So change it up a bit. Ask yourself this. Why is it so easy to lead my team to what they want? Or why is it so easy to create an amazing life? You still look for an answer. If you say, why is it so hard to hit diamond? Raise your hand if you're an emerald coach, by the way. Emerald coaches, raise your hand. Okay, so diamond's the next step. Or if you're already diamond, whatever's after that. Or if you're a brand new coach, emerald. Use this for whatever rank you're at. When you say to yourself, why is it so hard to hit diamond? You look for how you don't know enough people, how you don't know how to use social media, how you're not a great leader, how you never built a business before, how, all these things. You're not a product of the product enough, all these disempowering things. But check this out. What happens when you say to yourself, why is it so easy to hit diamond by the end of February? Just try it. Why is it so easy to hit diamond by the end of February? You look for an answer, right? And even if you're not there yet, you start to focus on blue. You start to focus on the opportunities, the people you could reach out to, the sacrifices you can make to build your business. Can you imagine if you fill your mind with just this one step of my program every day? Just this one step would change your entire life. And here's the key. You don't have to have the answer to the question that you ask. You don't even need to know the answer. You just need to live in a question that guides you to where you want to go. Because when you're looking for blue, in the direction you want to go, the how is going to reveal itself. Always remember the how is going to reveal itself. For example, if your car just dies and you finally decide one day, I want to buy a 2017 Ford Fusion. And once you decide that, you see that car everywhere. Every stoplight, every stop sign, every street corner, every parking lot. Why? Because you start looking for it. You look for it. You look for blue. You look for what you want. So you're going to find a way to get that car, just like you're going to find a way to get to your goals when you start asking yourself those blue questions. Every problem you face is just an empowering question you haven't asked yourself yet. That's it. So for your life and for your business, write down all the negative crap you ask yourself all the time. Why? Like, this isn't just Beachbody, guys. This is your marriage. This is your finances, everything. Write down all the disempowering stuff you say. Like, why am I so broke? Why is my business not growing? Why am I stuck? Why am I fat? Why does my husband always annoy me? Whatever it is, you're going to write it all down. And then what you're going to do is flip all of those questions into the empowering alternative of itself. What does that mean? You're going to turn those questions into, why is it so easy to blank? You're going to look for blue. You're going to say, why am I so wealthy? Why am I so grateful? Why is my business booming? Why is it so easy to lead my team? Why am I such a great leader? Whatever the empowering alternative of your disempowering questions are, you're going to write those down. There are two questions that changed my entire life. Why am I so kind to myself every day? And why am I worthy of living an amazing life? Why am I so kind to myself every day? And why am I worthy of living an amazing life? Asking those questions every single day, multiple times a day, changed my life. Life gets 100% easier, guys, if you're 1% nicer to yourself. Life will get 100% easier if you are 1% nicer to yourself. And then what you're going to do after you have those, this is your homework coming out of this. When you have those empowering questions, You're going to flood your subconscious mind with those questions so it doesn't even have an opportunity to find red, right? Stand guard at the gates of your mind or weeds will grow automatically. That's what you're doing. You're flooding your mind with what you want so it doesn't even have a fighting chance to find what you don't want. When I went through this, I put Post-it notes all over my house. I literally had, like, it was just ridiculous. I'd see these empowering questions everywhere. My wife was going like, what are you doing? Right? I record it on my phone and I listened to it for hours a day, literally hours a day. Whenever I was doing the dishes, whenever I was in the shower, whenever I was working out, I was listening to my empowering questions over and over and over again on repeat. I was not giving red a fighting chance, and it changed my entire life. Guys, this will change your life if you do it. That's a promise. Like, for any part of your life, it will change your life. So you're planting new thought seeds. You're watering those blue seeds daily with a question. And all of a sudden, you put some weed killer on the disempowering ones. You let those weeds die in your garden. And now the only plants that you water are the blue flowers, right? And within less time than you think, your garden's gorgeous. It's blooming. It's giving your life oxygen again. And when your life has oxygen and you feel alive, guess what happens? You attract leaders into your life. You find people that want to do this with you. This is where hitting Success Club becomes easier. This is where you start hitting those higher numbers because people just become magnetized to you. They want to be part of your life. Does that make sense? Okay. Is this one mindset strategy helpful so far, guys? You think you can use this in your business? Awesome. There's 2 more. So number 2, write this down. Your problem is not the problem. How you face your problem is the problem. Your problem is not the problem. How you face your problem is the problem. What does that mean? That means when you are so emotionally attached to a goal coming true, you actually push that goal away from you. Now, a lot of you guys are athletes, you're big into fitness, right? That don't take this to mean that you shouldn't be excited or passionate about your goals. You absolutely should be excited or passionate about your goals. You should get your hopes up. You should go after it with everything you've got. But what I mean is, when your happiness is dependent on a goal coming true, you're pushing that goal away from you. You're making it harder to achieve. So type yes if this is you. If you're pushing so hard for a goal and you notice that every big effort you make towards it, it's like it's just out of reach. Like it's evading you in some way, like 2 steps forward, 2.5 steps back. It's like it's teasing you a little bit. And you're going, what the hell is going on? Like, why is this? So that's because you are attached to your goals, emotionally attached to where your happiness and fulfillment is dependent on those goals. So when you think this way and you come up short, which by the way, you are going to come up short sometimes when you set big goals, you're going to. But when you think this way and you come up short, how do you feel when you don't get to a goal? You feel really crappy. You feel like your self-worth took a little bit of a hit. And let me guess, leads to self-sabotage. You get into a slump, compounding negative self-talk. All those voices in your head are amplified. And you start to believe that you're not good enough for this, when in reality, that's BS. When you try to build a business that way, isn't it incredibly overwhelming to try to figure that out? Like, how do you solve that? It feels defeating, right? Because you have no idea how to solve it, so you start to accept it when it's not true. So when you can learn to see your challenges just as a couple of questions you got to ask consistently, instead of being responsible for your happiness, the challenges get easier. And so what does that mean? A lot of you view where you are right now as wrong. You're saying, I shouldn't be at this rank. I shouldn't be at this weight. I shouldn't be in this spot in my marriage. I shouldn't be at this spot in my finances. Yes, you should. You should absolutely be where you are right now. And until you can see that where you are right now is exactly where you need to be to learn something, you're never going to get to where you want to go. Where you are right now is exactly what you need to be at to learn what you need to learn to live the life you're meant to live. That's why Shaun T always talks about in his programs, you have to love your body now if you ever want to create that upgraded body, right? He talks about it because that's all you have. So huge important note here, and this is the overarching theme of my program, Appreciation Academy. Business and success will not cause happiness. Happiness causes success. Happiness and appreciation for the journey that you're on and the challenge that you're facing and loving where you're at is how you overcome the challenge. Most people don't get that. Most people get this perfectionistic mindset like I used to, where I need to get it done and then I can release the death grip on success. And I was that way for years. I didn't get it was the other way around. It's one of the main reasons I stayed stuck. You don't need to find the answer because where you are right now literally is the answer. So seeing your current good is the fastest way to increase more good. What does that mean? Let's step into the common sense corner for a second. If you're God, the universe, whatever you choose to believe in, I'm not here to tell you what to believe. Whatever you believe is great. Step into the common sense corner. And you're looking back at your creation. You have person A and person B down in your creation on earth. And person A is that person that looks for red. They're the person that says, life is so hard. Work sucked today. Building a business is so hard. I'm not enough. I'm not pretty enough. I'm too fat. I can't do this. It's raining outside. Like, it's just a bad day, right? It's that person. And that's an exaggeration, but you get the point. And then there's person B. Person B is focusing on blue. Person B is that person that's going, oh my gosh, this is so cool. I'm not at my goals yet, but I'm learning how to get there. And I'm loving the process of who I'm becoming. And I want to be a 5-star diamond coach. And I'm so excited to get there and learn how to be a leader and learn how to connect with all these people. And oh my gosh, there's these little bumblebees outside in the summer that are so courageous. They're like 1/100th of the size of me, and they have the courage to sting you. It's so cool. This is such a cool place to be. I'm just making shit up. But you get the point, right? You have person A and person B. And if you're God, the universe, whatever you believe in, are you going to give more to the person that complains about having less? Or are you going to give more to the person that loves what they already have? Right? Seeing your current good is the fastest way to increase more good. And what's awesome about this one skill is it means you don't have to work nearly as hard for exponentially better results in your life. Because a lot of you have this death grip on the steering wheel saying, I'll be happy when, right? You're death gripping that steering wheel. You want to go on the highway to success. You're slamming down the gas pedal and you're trying to get to fifth gear as fast as possible. But then there's smoke burning out of your tires. Your tires are spinning, but you're not going anywhere. And you just feel stuck. And you see all these other people on the highway flying by you, getting to their goals faster. And you're going, what the hell am I doing wrong? So you push down harder and you start to get tired. So you let your foot off that gas. Then you push down harder again and you start burning out again. And you realize the only thing that is holding you back this entire time isn't that you need to push down harder. It's that literally just your emergency brake is on. That's it. That's the only thing that's wrong. So to go further faster, you don't need to work harder. You just need to chill and release the brake and love where you're at. So a better metaphor for this is most people try to climb the mountain of success saying they'll be happy when they get to the top. I'll be happy when I get to that goal. I'll be happy when I hit Million Club, when I hit 5-star, when I hit 15-star, whatever it is. I'll be happy when. So put your dream on top of a mountain for a second. The problem with this is that it's the same thing as trying to climb Everest with a blindfold on, right? When you climb a mountain, your legs are going to be burning. There's going to be a lot of lactic acid buildup. You're probably going to need the performance line. And you're like making a beeline for the top of Everest with a blindfold on. But when you do that, you're going to trip and fall. You're going to break your leg. You're going to fall and hurt yourself. You might die, and it's going to take way longer to get back up than you thought, right? So what if you just take the blindfold off and you just chill and you appreciate the beauty around you as you go? Follow the metaphor here. What if you appreciate the scenery, the backdrop, the wildlife in the distance? What if you love every part of the climb? You follow the trail. Have you ever gone hiking out west and you see the peak of the mountain that you're trying to get to, but the trail is going the other way? You just have faith that it's leading you somewhere. And even when that trail is going downhill, meaning goals up there, meaning a coach quits, you drop in rank, you get a return order, someone bashes you on social media, whatever it is. Even when you're going down away from that mountaintop, even when that happens, you learn something instead of because you realize that where you are on that trail is okay. So what if you just take the blindfold off and relax? Because if you're trying to make a beeline to the top and you're not appreciating everything you're going through on the way, even when you get to the top, a lot of you guys are high achievers. Even when you get to the top, you're not going to be able to see anything. In fact, this is where hollow success comes from. This is that person that hits 5-star and then the next day feels hollow and empty again. This is you. Or you get to diamond, then you're going, what's next? Or you get to a certain weight, you're going, what's next? It's because you haven't taken that blindfold off and loved every part of the way, right? Because if you have that blindfold off and you follow that trail and you just have faith that's leading you up that mountain to where you want to go, when you get to the top, you can actually see how awesome it is. So what if you make a commitment tonight to be committed to a goal, be excited about a goal, want to get to the top of that mountain, and committed to loving every part of the climb to get there? What if you go on this hike of Beachbody for that exactly, for hiking, not just the summit. When you do that, wouldn't you be more relaxed? Wouldn't you have more fun? Wouldn't you be less hurt by challenges? Wouldn't you be a better leader? Like, it would change everything for you. In your business, when you operate that way, even if someone quits, you learn something instead of hate something. So what if you do this business for the growth? If you make your primary outcome, what you're trying to get, growth and contribution instead of money and rank, how much, like, it's so much easier, because every single day, even if it seems to be going downhill, you get a result no matter what, if you're doing it for the growth and to contribute. But if your only reason for doing it is the outcome and the rank, you're never going to get to where you want to go. And even if you do happen to stumble upon it, you're not going to be fulfilled. Like, if you're not getting nearly enough results for the effort you're putting in, that can go away right now. And living this way makes success and happiness so much easier. So like I said, I can't get into all of that in 1 hour, but I can give you one final tip to make this process so much easier. I got one more for you guys. I call it the secret sauce. The secret sauce. You might know this as genuine gratitude. And I don't mean the BS gratitude. I know a lot of you guys do this, where you say, oh my gosh, I'm so stressed. Bank account's overdrawn. I'm not at my goals. Someone said no, but I love my kids and I'm so grateful I have food in the fridge. Bullshit. That is not gratitude at all. That is you counting your blessings, rationalizing why you're stuck in life. That's all you're doing so you don't feel bad about yourself. That is not actual gratitude. So genuine gratitude, meaning what you feel in your heart. And I'm going to take you through a process in a minute that will take you to a real state of gratitude so you can see what it's like, makes it so much easier to be successful. So gratitude is actually a business tool. I thought it was a crock of shit for a while, but it's a business tool. It's actually a success tool. So write this down. It is impossible to feel pain when you are deeply grateful. Impossible. It's like trying to be sad and jump up and down in the mirror naked at the same time. It doesn't work. Right? So it's impossible to feel pain when you're grateful. It's impossible to feel frustration, anxiety, depression, sadness, fear, anger, resentment, jealousy, comparison when you're in an actual state of gratitude. And if you're going, no, that's not true, then you haven't experienced real gratitude in a while, because it's true. It is literally impossible. And like I said, I don't mean BS gratitude. I mean real gratitude that I'll show you in a second. Because when you're grateful, opportunities and solutions and things and just everything you want comes to your life so much faster, because you love what you already have. You attract things. You become magnetic. You always hear that like phrase, abundance, being thrown around. Gratitude is the gateway to abundance. That's how you feel abundant. You're grateful for the life you already have. There's always more. So think about this. Like, let's do some perspective first, and then I'll take you through that exercise. Some perspective here. You're watching a video about mindset from anywhere in the world. You're in a cozy house. You probably have a foot massager on your feet, or you're in a, you have a blanket on, you got your dog on your lap, whatever it is. You can probably take your kids to get medical care if they need it. You can probably take your dog to the vet if they need it. And you're probably going to turn on your Apple TV tonight and watch a movie, or Friends, or what Marie Kondo's, whatever that new thing is about organization that my wife did. And it's really cool, by the way. And most of us take that for granted, when there's a mother out there that's going to watch her baby starve to death tonight. When there are people out there that are injecting needles into their arm to cope with pain. When there are people that committed suicide today. When there are countries that still live in communism. When most of the world lives on $2.50 a day, $900 a year. And we're complaining about selling challenge packs, right? And how people are saying no. No, if we can't pay our bills, we are rich. If you're in the bottom 1% of this country, you're in the top 1% of the world. So have some perspective. Before we actually feel gratitude, we need some perspective to realize that our problems are not problems. You're so accustomed to the miracles happening around you every day that you don't even see them as miracles anymore. You probably view miracles as scarce and don't appreciate how literally everything around you right now, your glasses, your phone, your computer, your notebook, was once an idea. This team was once an idea that this amazing woman had. That's all it was. It was an idea. It was a that'd be cool if, which proves that you can create miracles any second if you want to. We have the tendency to let go of gratitude and make it a rule that we can only be happy if something happens, or we can only feel grateful if something happens. And just like we talked about a minute ago, that is setting you up for suffering. If you can take one line away from this entire talk, it's the following line. Nothing has to happen for you to be happy. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. And as long as you structure your life in a way where your happiness is dependent on something you don't control, meaning a goal coming true, or someone responding in a certain way, or getting a yes, or the way your husband reacts, then you will never be fulfilled in the way you desire. You could be winning at life, with which all of you are, by the way, winning at life, and feel like you're losing because your measuring stick is unfair. And it will only allow you to be happy if the next thing happens. And even if you achieve, you feel hollow. And write this down, achievement without genuine gratitude is total failure. Achievement without genuine gratitude is total failure. You're breathing. You are alive. That should be enough to smile about. And if you're smiling, guys, business gets easier. Business and success don't cause happiness. Happiness causes success. A lot of you have these incredibly high expectations of your spouse, your kids, your team, your volume, your sales. And when your life conditions don't align with what you want, meaning like where life is now isn't aligned with where you want to go, you get frustrated. So you're living in a constant state of frustration because there's always a bigger goal. Like you have these rules of what needs to happen in order to feel happy. That needs to be let go of tonight. Gratitude is one of the ways to get there. And again, not BS gratitude, real gratitude that I'll show you in a second. Your view of life literally determines your future. So every day, condition your mind to being grateful and look for blue. And slowly, the anxiety, the depression, the overwhelm, the fear, the negative self-talk, you're not going to notice it as much anymore. You're going to become excited about every single day. Guys, I went through a period of time in my business. And as I go through this mini story here, type yes if you can relate to this. I went through a period of time where I knew what I wanted really bad. I knew the goal I wanted. But I would find myself on the couch watching TV, even though I wanted my life to change. And it was like a perfection and guilt loop. I do really, really well in my invites and my social media and stuff one day. And then I wouldn't get the response I want, so I would just wallow in my sorrows. Then I'd feel sorry about wallowing in my sorrows, so I'd go above and beyond the next day, and I wouldn't get the response I want. So it was perfection and guilt and perfection and guilt, and then I'd find myself in depression, sadness, fear, anxiety, just sitting there on the couch, wanting my life to change, just wishing it was easier. I would literally see my laptop staring at me going, dude, change your life. But I just didn't care, but I cared so much, if that makes sense. And even worse, I was depressed, but then I was also, and maybe this will make sense, I was pissed off at myself that I was depressed. I was pissed off at myself for being sad. I was pissed off at myself for feeling sorry for myself. I was pissed off that I wasn't living my best life. And from practicing what I teach in Appreciation Academy in my course, those periods of anxiety and depression went from 4 times a week to 1 time a week, to 1 time every 2 weeks, to 1 time every month, 6 months, year. Now, my default setting is blue. My default setting is genuine happiness that I don't have to work hard to create. And that came from practicing these tools when I was in a spot that when I wasn't where I wanted to be. And yes, there are still times once in a blue moon where I get the whole woe is me feeling, right? Everyone does. But I can get out of it in 3 minutes using gratitude. In fact, what I learned from my mentor, Tony Robbins, how many Tony Robbins fans out there? What I learned from him is that you can literally solve any problem in your life or your business in 3 minutes using gratitude. So I learned this from him. I don't take credit for this next portion. He created this, but it's so powerful that I have to take you through it. So before we get into this, go somewhere where you'll allow yourself to feel totally vulnerable. Put the phone away for 5 minutes. Turn the TV off for 5 minutes. Be fully present for 5 minutes, because I promise you, if you take this seriously for the next 5 minutes, your life can actually change forever if you do this. I'm going to show you what real gratitude feels like and how it's a tool to solve problems. So get where you got to be. And if you know that you're not going to really play all out because other people are on video here, I actually encourage you to turn your video off for the next 5 minutes. If it's something where you know that you won't play all out. And if that's you, that's okay. There's no judgment. So turn the video off if you know that you won't allow yourself to feel emotions. You might cry a little bit. I'm going to take you through a process, okay? So get somewhere where you can feel that way, and then close your eyes. Close your eyes. Okay, and keep them closed. Keep them closed for about 5 minutes. I'm going to tell you when to open them, so just keep them closed the entire time and just trust the process here. So I'm going to take you through an exercise called heart breathing. What they found was when the heart and the brain were measured on an EEG and EKG, and you were in a state of stress and frustration, and they measured the two waves, they were jagged and intermixed, and it was chaos on the screen. But when you were in a state of gratitude and flow, what they found is the brain and the heart actually aligned. This is scientific. They were aligned and smooth instead of jagged and all over the place. And so they started working together. This is flow. This is what people call alignment, or whatever you want to call it. And we're going to get into that state right now. So with your eyes closed, think of something that stresses you out on a scale of 1 to 10, 7, 8, 9, or 10. Okay, just something that really stresses you out. And think of the stress of that moment, and how it just kind of hurts to be there, how you feel stuck, it's unfinished business, you don't know how to get past it, and you just feel stuck. And you have no idea how to break through, and it's something you need to do, but you've been putting off, or whatever it is. It's a painful situation, 7, 8, 9, or 10. And with your eyes closed, raise your hand if you have your stressor, just so I can see if we're good. Okay, so people have their stressor. Cool, keep your eyes closed. Sit up nice and straight, shake your body out, and take a deep breath in your nose. Exhale out your mouth. Take a deep breath in your nose again. Exhale out your mouth. And keep breathing that way. And now take both your hands, trust me on this, and physically put them on your heart. Feel your heart beating in your chest. And breathe deep into your heart. Feel the air actually flowing in your nose. Imagine it going through your heart and back out your mouth. So feel your heart, feel the power of it. Breathing deep in your nose, through your heart, back out your mouth. And notice how already your breath has calmed your mind. So feel the power of your heart for a second. Feel the strength of your heart for a second. Feel the gift, the beauty of your heart for a second. Your heart beats literally 100,000 times a day without you having to do anything for it. As long as your heart beats, you live. It's a gift. Didn't have to buy your heart. You didn't have to earn it. Something thought enough of you to give you this gift of life the moment you were born. As long as it beats, you live. It's a gift. You have inherent worth because this heart is beating in your chest. So take a second and just feel so grateful for the fact that you even have this life right now, for the fact that you don't have to do anything about living. Your heart beats even when you sleep. It's the best gift you've ever received. So feel so grateful and appreciate it. Breathing deep in your heart with your hands on your heart. Keep feeling your heart this entire process. Breathing deep and just love it and just appreciate it and just cherish it for a second. And now go back to any moment in your life that you can feel deep, deep feelings of gratitude for. What's a moment, any stage, any time, could be 10 years ago, could be today. Just what's a moment where you can step back into that moment and feel that gratitude, the power of that moment all over again. Step back into it, feel it, but instead of seeing it from the outside, step back into that moment like you're there. Relive it all over again. See the exact same things you saw then. Feel the same things you felt then. Just experience all the same emotions all over again, right in front of you. And just treasure that moment for a second. Think of all it led to in your life. Think of why that moment was beautiful or a blessing in your life. And just say thank you and appreciate it. Feel it in your heart. Breathing deep, hands still on your heart. Breathing deep in and just appreciate that memory. And now go to a second memory. What's another memory from your life? A moment, any stage in your past that you can step into that moment and love it so much. Maybe it's a Beachbody moment, a sporting moment, a moment with family or friends, just something magical for you, something that was truly incredible. It can even be laughter, anything at all, and just feel so grateful for that moment and step back into that moment like you're there. Relive it all over again. Let that smile creep out your face a little bit and just love that moment and cherish that moment and feel the beauty of that moment. And just say thank you and appreciate it and love it and feel that in your heart right now with your hands on your heart, breathing deep in your nose, through your heart, back out your mouth. And now what's a third moment Same thing. What's another moment, any stage, any time, that you can feel so deeply grateful for? And step back into that moment like you're there. Relive it all over again. Feel the same things you felt then. See the same things you saw then. Breathe the same way you did then. Experience it all over again like it's happening right in front of you, first person, and treasure it and love it and feel it in your chest right now, beating in your chest. Feel it and stack that on top of all the other memories. And now think of a coincidence. What's something in your life, something that you didn't expect to happen, but either God, the universe, whatever you believe in, put that event in front of you and it happened and it led to something beautiful in your life, something you treasure, your career, a person, a relationship, an insight, a life change. Feel whatever that coincidence is. Was that actually a coincidence or were you guided? You know, you were in line at Starbucks and you met the love of your life. You didn't mean to get pregnant, but now you have an amazing family. What's that moment for you that you didn't mean to happen? You weren't putting forth any effort, but it was grace. It was something powerful that just placed that moment in front of you. Think about how you were guided in that moment, how it was such a beautiful coincidence, because it's really beautiful when we realize that life is always happening for you and not to you. Everything, even the problems, they lead to greater growth, greater aliveness, an elevated version of you. So feel all that gratitude in your heart right now with your hands on your heart, breathing deep, and let all of this start to overwhelm you like an energy building in your body. Feel that energy flooding out from your heart, going up to your head, going down your chest, into your stomach, into your calves, your legs, your quads, everything. Feel it flood your arms like this energy is building, and just feel all this overwhelming gratitude, all this amazing feelings in your chest, and just love it and let that energy double now. Try to double it and try to double and triple now the amount of appreciation you have for this gift of life. And now like a flash, let it all go in front of you. Your heart beating 100,000 times a day. See that first memory like a flash right in front of you. That second memory like a flash. That third memory like a flash. That coincidence like a flash right in front of you all over again. Real quick, let it build, and feel so much overwhelming appreciation and cherish those moments in your life. And just say thank you and experience genuine, real gratitude. And now from this state, you're in a beautiful state. From this state, from your heart, not your head, from your heart, go back to that stressor that you forgot about. Go back to that stressor. And from your heart, not your head, just answer this. Just answer this question in your own heart right now, from your heart. In this situation, all I need to remember is blank. In this situation, all I need to say is blank. In this situation, all I need to do is blank. Because your heart already knows the answer to every problem you face. You guys can open your eyes. You guys can come off that camera or put your camera back. How many of you felt something really powerful from that exercise in the last few minutes? And if you didn't feel something powerful from this, go back and do that again when no one else is here. Because your heart knows the answer to what you're facing in your life. Your heart knows how to solve it or how to find direction in a challenging time. So guys, you have one shot at this life, real talk, one shot. And most people go through life just trying to stay safe and not mastering how to feel. You learn today that how you feel affects how you perform in life. It affects everything, not just your business, but all parts of life. So what we need to do is we need to master happiness. If you focus more on your happiness and your mindset than you do on your business will grow as a byproduct. Jim Rohn talks about that. Tony Robbins talks about that. Brendon Burchard talks about that. It's just proven over and over again because you're exactly where you need to be to learn what you need to learn to live the life you're meant to live, right? So instead of just knowing that, to change your entire life, all you got to do is instill this into who you are. Instead of needing a team call to feel this way, that if you can make this how you wake up, how you solve challenges, how you go to bed, game over. Business explodes, happiness explodes, bank accounts explode. Can you imagine how the world would change, the impact you'd have if this way of thinking was part of your life, if you didn't need a team call? And if it's okay with you guys, if you felt something real from this, I'd like to take just 2 minutes and share how you can continue this type of education with me if you're interested. If not, it's been a privilege to serve you, and I'm so glad I had the opportunity to help you guys. There's no pressure here, but I'd love to share an opportunity to continue that type of education, guys. So Melissa and I have prepared an amazing opportunity for you to learn how to make this how you wake up instead of something you need motivation for. If you've been pushing hard for a goal and it gets further away, or it just seems so much easier for other people, or you keep hearing just hit Success Club, but it's not happening, or you have all these trainings on Instagram stories you're inviting and it seems to work for everyone else but you, or even if you achieve a goal, it doesn't feel fulfilling. Or you go through that perfection guilt loop and you find yourself on the couch wanting life to change, but you can't get yourself to do it, and you see your laptop staring at you. I have lived that and I have overcome that. And that's why I created my course, Appreciation Academy. And because your leader is amazing, we're going to give you a massive discount on it. So the reason you feel stuck is because you have inner conflict that needs to be resolved. I know this because I lived it. Negative self-talk, limiting beliefs, lack of worth. They kept me stuck for years. And you've heard the cliche, change your thinking, change your life. This course teaches you how to instill new thinking into who you are, how to be happy, how to be magnetic, how to let go of limiting beliefs and attract success instead of repel it. I'm sure you guys know who Jen Richardson is, 15-star diamond coach, Million Club member, 4-time elite coach. She says, and I quote, Appreciation Academy is the missing link that every Beachbody coach needs to finally see success in their business. And I have dozens more testimonials from the top leaders, Micah Folsom, Stephanie Chico, all these amazing people. It's not about the names, it's about how this is real. You feel this right now. And this doesn't just affect your business. It gets you unstuck in every part of your life. Marriage, business, bank account, happiness, everything. It rips away the layers of pain, preventing you from being the person that deep down you're meant to be. It's not a business training. It's not a business training. Your business is a byproduct of what goes on up here. This is a mindset course. It'll teach you how to believe in yourself. It'll teach you how to silence the inner demons and how to live every single day with a genuine smile on your face. So like we said, business and success do not cause happiness. Happiness causes success. And this is the only course I've ever seen in my life that teaches you how to be happy. It's not something where you're going to get thrown into a group and I'm going to disappear. I am literally there for my clients every step of the way because I live this and I know how you feel. 6 years of personal growth packed so you don't have to wait that long. So if you felt something real, if you've been living in a memory that says you're not enough, it's time we stop believing that and we break through. If you've been wanting success so bad and you haven't experienced that breakthrough, I know how you feel because I lived it. And Appreciation Academy will get you unstuck. That's a promise. So Melissa's going to share a Google form in your team page with an image immediately after this call. If you'd like information on the program and stuff, just fill out that Google form. I'm not going to spam you with emails. I'm going to give you an opportunity to learn about the program. If you feel it's for you, I highly encourage you to invest in this program. Hundreds and hundreds of Beachbody coaches have enrolled and their lives are changed forever. You will not find one bad review about this. So you have my word that I will not betray your trust, and I sincerely thank you for your time tonight. So Melissa, I will turn it back over to you so you can share a little bit about your thoughts on Appreciation Academy, the course, and just the call tonight. But either way, guys, thank you so much for the privilege to serve you. It's been an honor to be here. So back to you, my friend.
Great. That was great. Thank you so much. I think everybody stuck around for a full hour and we had a call at 8. So we were on now for 2 hours. So it's been a long night for some of us. So that means that definitely found value, that everyone stuck around. So we appreciate your time. We appreciate all of it. I'm going to post as soon as we're done with this. I have it already saved to post. I'm going to post in there the information to sign up, which it has the cost and everything, does it?
So I'll send out an email with all the discount information once they fill out the Google form.
Okay, cool. So the price and everything will be up there, and the more of us that do it, the deeper the discount. Is that right? Yes. So we'll get all the details on it. I'm excited to look more into it. Obviously, I think everyone just from this, you got a little feel of how your mindset change can go a long way just with the red and green, red and blue markers, right? What you look for, and we all know what you focus on is what grows in your life, right? And the hard part is changing your focus. So I don't want to keep anybody any longer because it's been a long time. It's been a long night, but thank you for your time. I'm going to post right now and then you'll take over with the steps after that via email, right? Okay. Thank you guys for listening and being here. Thank you so much, Brad. We appreciate it. It's been a really great hour. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thanks again. Good night, guys. And this is recorded, so it'll be in the team page also. Everybody who didn't get to make it, tell your people. All right. Good night, everyone.